Hello everyone, the updated Ranger is here and it has improved quite a bit since the last time we saw it. Hell, the combat in general appears much better in my opinion as well. These abilities are also just from the base archetype of Ranger, no other archetypes involved. Yet as always, this is all a work in progress and nothing here is final and it is all subject to change. We'll go through the abilities first, starting with Snipe of course. It has a 35 meter range and it charges a powerful range attack, dealing large damage after charging for 3 seconds, dealing 300% physical damage. It has a couple of passives, one of which buffs the Ranger attack speed for a short amount of time, which we don't know the name of, and there's another called Heart-Seeking Snipe, which gives Snipe a 30% increased crit chance to enemies hit beyond 20 meters. Next up is Barrage, which has a 30 meter range and it fires a continual barrage of arrows at your target for 1.5 seconds, dealing 12% physical damage per arrow. The cooldown can be reduced by completing a weapon combo. Also, players can move while casting it, as there is a passive that can be spec'd into called Expeditious Barrage, which lowers the movement penalty while it's being channeled. Headshot, 30 meter range, and it deals 175% physical damage to the target enemy. It can also be spec'd into being an execute with the passive Mortal Headshot, where it deals an additional 50% damage to targets below half of their max HP. It can also refund 4 seconds of its cooldown when it hits a marked target with Refreshing Headshot. Now, marks are debuffs that you can use at the same time as other abilities like Headshot or Snipe in an off global cooldown kind of situation. At the moment there is Mark of the Bear. All of these are 35 meter range, and Bear reduces the target's mitigation by 25%. Mark of the Tiger increases critical chance versus the target by 50%, and Mark of the Raven triggers bonus damage every time the target is hit. The lower in health the target is, the higher the damage. Following marks are the Hunts, which are buffs that the Ranger applies to themselves. The Hunt of the Bear imbues the Ranger with increased physical mitigation, the Hunt of the Raven imbues with increased physical penetration, and Hunt of the Tiger imbues with 10% increased critical damage. Scattershot, which was one of my favorites of the stream, has a 20 meter range and fires a spread of projectiles, dealing physical damage to every enemy target within range inside the cone in front of the caster, which is only shown to the caster. There's a passive called Concentrated Scattershot where it becomes a held ability. After fully charging it, there is instead a single projectile on a forward line that pierces through enemies and deals significantly increased damage, as well as a 30 meter range. There's also multi-scattershot that grants Scattershot an additional charge. Airstrike. It is new and improved, allowing the player to control their movement while in the air so they aren't locked in like they were before. It's a leap forward into the air while firing 3 projectiles in a line along the path, each dealing area damage and rooting targets hit for 3 seconds. Thundering Shot, 30 meter range, it fires a lightning infused projectile at your target, dealing 200% of your physical power as lightning damage. If you're at least 10 meters away, it'll explode an additional AoE damage from the target. Lightning Reload grants a charge that allows you to fire 1 ability shot for free, ignoring its cooldown and other costs. Bear Trap, 30 meter range, and it spawns a trap at the target location which arms after 1 second. When an enemy triggers the trap, they take damage and become rooted for 2 seconds, which has a couple of passives that we saw, like Multi-Trap, which gives the skill 3 charges with an increased cooldown of 15 seconds, and Trap Slinger, which causes the trap to be a thrown projectile and is armed instantly upon landing. It deals double damage when triggered. Call of the Wild removes all movement impairing effects and increases movement speed by 20% for 8 seconds. Snares and roots effects applied to the caster are ignored. Raining Death, 30 meter range, it fires a rain of arrows in a 30 meter cone in front of you, dealing heavy damage twice to every target within range. The cone is yet again only visible by the caster. Disengage delivers a quick kick while backflipping in the opposite direction. Enemies hit are snared for 4 seconds, and successfully hitting an enemy resets the cooldown on this ability. It can only happen once per cooldown. There is a passive that costs 0 points called Omnidirectional Disengage that allows the player to move in the direction of your input instead of always backwards. The other, called Reinvigorating Disengage, is what lets the cooldown be refreshed by hitting an enemy with it. Imbue Ammo, Barbed. Imbues your ammunition with barbed thorns. Enemies hit by your bow attack suffer the bleeding status effect, applying a dot, 10 charges. Each of the 3 has the same amount. Imbue Ammo, Concussive. Enemies hit by your bow attack suffer 10 stacks of the staggered status effect, increasing trip duration when applied and lowering their accuracy and evasion stats per stack. Imbue Ammo Weighted. Enemies hit by your bow attack suffer the snared status effect, reducing movement speed by 50%. Each application applies 3 seconds duration to the target, up to a max of 12 seconds. Other than Ranger skills, they showed us a first look at the skill tree for the Ranger, which had a decent amount of abilities and passives for a base archetype, which of course we won't be able to get everything on there. Also, on the far right side of the class tree, there appeared to be a section of what I do believe to be the Ranger skill tree and short bow weapon skill tree that are equipped, alongside the passive of Weapon Mastery Bow. It lowers the cooldown of Barrage and Scattershot by 3 seconds upon the completion of a bow weapon combo and firing a fully charged longbow. We'll find out what they mean in the future for sure if it doesn't change, of course, like always. Although it does seem to play very well, it is hard to tell until we get our mids on Alpha 2. Overall, I'm pretty positive about the direction of the combat and at least the Ranger. Can't wait to see the PvP livestream in January. What did you all think of everything they showed us this time? Let us know in the comments below, and as always, I'll see you all next time.